Okay, so last time I mentioned that I was looking to trade Alexiak because he makes $4.6 million to be a defensive defenseman, which is not something that translates very well in this game. So I decided to do it sooner rather than later. I made him available. I only got one offer, which was from Ottawa, which, I mean, in real life, Ottawa probably would be interested in Alexiak, but it was the only offer I got. They gave me Maxence Gannett. Where is he? They gave me Maxence Gannett and Josh Brown, who Josh Brown I kind of dislike in real life, but um, I'll keep him up for a bit if we aren't over the roster limit. Yeah, we're under the roster limit for the time being. So I'll keep him up. I might play him in a few games, see what happens, and if not, I'll do the usual thing, put him up for trade, and if nobody wants him, just waive him. In the meantime, here's Gannett. He's 20 years old, right shooting defenseman. Basically, I didn't even look very closely at the return at all, just because. I just wanted to get rid of Alexiak. Again, nothing against Alexiak. He is the second best athlete in his family, but defensive defenseman skill sets just don't translate very well over to this game. Okay, so I understand sample size and all that, but this is fucking inexplicable. Check this out. So we searched for Alexiak. He's got 9 points in his first 11 games with Ottawa. He's a defensive defenseman, and in the 12 games he played with us, he had 1 point. He's not even playing on the first pair, I don't think. Oh, he is playing on the. when I last looked at it, they were playing Shibata in the first pair with Holden, and Alexiak with. I think they had Delzato there, so they must have brought Zub up recently. They demoted Shabbat to put Alexiak on their first pair because he's just that good, apparently. Meanwhile, with us, it's been 22 games. We're just out of a playoff spot. We lost 3 in a row to Tampa Bay, Florida, and Buffalo. We got 1 point out of those 6. We're just above 500, which is sort of more in line with the expectations I had for this season. As far as who's doing well, Don Skoi is continuing to have a very good year. McCann is still great. Grubauer is still holding up. 912 save percentage, especially in this game, is very, very good. Schwartz is still doing well. Eberle is still doing pretty good. Giordano is still holding it on the first pair. 23 minutes a night at age 38. Cholowski is still doing very well. He's sort of cooled off a bit from his early season performance, but Cholowski has been a solid performer for us, so we'll have to continue to keep an eye on him going forward. Vince Dunn, I'm thinking I should maybe promote Dunn to the first pairing. Is he a right? Yeah, he plays the right side. I've been using Larson with Giordano on the first pair. Larson's been okay, but I think it might be about time to move Dunn up. And then Donato's been alright, Coland has been alright, and everyone else has not been so good. Gourde was producing very well to start the season. I've had him consistently at first line center, but he's been disappointing recently. And yeah, Drieger had a good stretch for a bit. Again, it's only been 8 games, so I'll sort of leave that to continue for a bit longer. But if he keeps that up, I'm gonna have to trade away this contract. So yeah, as far as what we need centers desperately, especially if Gourde continues performing the way he's been. Wenberg, Yarnkrog, Bastian are just not good enough. The wingers have been performing very. Schwartz, Eberle, McCann, and Donskoy have all been great, but they've kind of been let down by their centers a little bit. So as far as what our needs are, we need centers. The depth on defense has not been good. Nobody who I put in on that bottom pair. I by the way, I moved Cholowski up. He was playing on the bottom pair, and someone else was there. Alexiak was there to start the season, and there was someone else there more recently. I don't remember who. I promoted Cholowski. This top 4 seems to be decent. But yeah, Fleury, Susie, anyone else, like I tried Josh Brown there for a bit. Connor Carrick. Connor Carrick, is that his name? Yeah. Carrick. I think I had Middleton there for a little bit. Yeah, we need, essentially, those are our needs. I don't think I'm going to make a trade just yet. But if I am going to do that, our needs are centerman, depth on defense, and potentially a backup goaltender. And yeah, that's where we stand right now. Incidentally, as far as shot differentials go, we're 11th in the league in both shot prevention and shot generation. So, I mean, they've been our team has been solid. I wasn't expecting that out of this particular group of players, but I think a couple additions down the stretch, and we could be looking at making the playoffs. So I don't, to be honest, I'm not sure if this does all that much. I'm hoping to get some trade offers. But yeah, I'm gonna set some trade needs. I want a center. Let's say a core center, and because if I can get, at this point, like even a number 2 center, so I can roll like Gourd and someone and push Wenberg down to the third line center. Yarncroke goes down and Bastion is maybe a healthy scratch. That I think would improve. Let's do goalie, backup, and let's do defenseman, depth. And then I guess I'll see if I get any trade offers going forward. As far as, well, I mean, we don't really have prospects to trade away, considering our prospects are basically guys that the Kraken took in the expansion draft. Coland, whomever else. Gannett is 20 years old. And then the guys they drafted, Beniers and so on. By the way, Beniers is doing well for the University of Michigan. I'll have to track his attribute growth going forward. But as far as our picks go, what picks do the Kraken have? Okay, so they've got all their picks plus a couple of fourths in this draft, and they've got the Jets second next year for some reason. So I could throw some of those extra picks at some team looking to sell off a second-line center type. Okay, so in my quest to find a center, I tried to trade for Tomas Hertl from San Jose, and the reason is I was looking for, on a bad team, San Jose is terrible this year, I was looking for a decent center. Hertl is on an expiring contract. He's not young enough that they definitely want to hold on to him necessarily. So I offered them, I think, a couple picks and Yarncroke. And yeah, my first offer was Cale Fleury, Kelly Yarncroke, and a third. They said the offer was okay, but they didn't want it. By the way, I'll show you Hertl. This is Hertl. I mean, I'd like better physical stats, but he's not having a great season either. But he's definitely an upgrade over Gourd and Wenberg, I think. So my next offer was, I got rid of Fleury. I made it Yarncroke, a third and a fourth or something like that. This is Yarncroke. I mean, if we compare Yarncroke to Hertl, I mean, it's an upgrade for us. But again, yeah, the physical stats are a bit worrying, and Hertl makes more money, and he's on an expiring contract as well. And again, with my self-imposed cap, I do need to. Yarncroke makes $2 million. I got to send a contract out to take a contract like Hertl's back. Then we played San Jose, and we lost. And I don't think Hertl got a point, but our boy Timo Meier from last time got a hat trick. Which is a bit annoying. Also, we lost our previous game to Columbus after we were 5-2 up in the third period. We lost 6-5. We got 45 shots. We lost the game in a shootout. So as it stands right now, I'm still trying to acquire a center. We sit out of a playoff spot, but within striking distance. Okay, so I'm trying for a third time to make an offer for Hertl. For some reason, San Jose seems completely unwilling to deal Hertl. They're like, the value is fair, but we want to keep Hertl, even though we're awful and his contract is expiring. Anyway, we beat Anaheim, and this was noteworthy. We got 52 shots on goal. So it's like, we're not in a playoff spot. We generate a lot of shots. If we check the thing again, we generate a lot of shots for our position in the league. And we're decent at suppressing shots as well. We should be better than we are, but we don't have the scoring talent on our roster to finish our chances, I think. Okay, so now San Jose says they are willing to trade Hertl, but they want these 3 picks and Donskoi. I don't know if I can do that just because, well, if we compare Donskoi to Hertl, Hertl does have better attributes. He's got slightly better attributes in like passing, shooting. While their wrist shots are equal, stick handling, and so on. He's much better at checking and deflections. Well, he's much better at face-offs because he's a center and Donskoy is a winger. Their physical stats are pretty comparable. But Donskoy is having such a good season that, I mean, I don't know if... I don't think I want to trade Donskoy and these picks for a guy that we might not be able to re-sign. Okay, so we're not trading you Donskoy, but I'll tell you what, I'll give you... You know, Gourde has a big contract for attributes that are kind of underwhelming, and he's been underwhelming this season. He had a good start, but he's been underwhelming. I'll tell you what. Actually, let's see. How does... Oh yeah, Hurdle is better than... Yeah, you know what? Here, you can have Gourde if you want. We don't like enough about this offer. We don't like the idea of receiving... Damn it. Okay. Maybe we don't go for Hurdle. We could try to get him in free agency, in fact, if San Jose doesn't manage to sign him. I will reject your offer. I think we played a game. How did that go? Oh, it's tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to update for every game. I'm just going to sim forward a little while. Probably through the roster freeze. And... I don't think Drieger has gotten a game in a while. I've been trying to rotate my goalies, but for some reason he hasn't started in 5 games. But yeah, we might still need a backup goalie, but I am still willing to, you know, give him a shot for a little bit longer, especially considering our goal is not do or die make the playoffs this year. So we'll see if he can rebound. As far as getting a depth defenseman goes, let me see how our guys are doing right now. Yeah, Fleury and Soucy are just not cutting it at the moment. The top 4 is fine, but yeah, I don't know. Like I could try to call Josh Brown back up or Carrick or one of these guys, but the fact is, like, I could rotate defensemen in and out, but I may as well. Like, there's not much point. Like, I don't think any of them really are that good at the NHL level. So I mean, I will continue to give these two a chance just to see what happens, but. I mean, as far as I'm not, yeah, I could try to acquire a bottom pair defenseman, but like I'm not. It's not really a desperate need at this point, but we'll see. Okay, so it's the middle of January now. We're in a playoff spot. We're reasonably solidly in a play. Well, that's not really true actually. Minnesota has games in hand on us. But we are in a playoff spot, above 500, all that stuff. And as far as I haven't made any trades, I think I'm going to go forward with this roster. I couldn't find any top 6 centers that teams were willing to trade me that I wanted. I couldn't really find a good target for a bottom pairing defenseman. As far as where is Chris Drieger? He's bounced back a little bit. I think I'm going to leave this till the end of the season. Grubauer has been fantastic. I think I'm going to chill with this roster for the end of the season, unless some opportunity comes up at the trade deadline, and we'll reevaluate this stuff in the offseason. As far as how specific players are doing, yeah, Grubauer is great. Drieger has not been so good. Defenseman, it's the same usual story. Larson, I'm thinking, okay, it might be about time because Dunn has been fantastic. Larson has been fine, but I think it might be about time to promote Vince Dunn to the first pairing. Or in fact, it might just be time to make Cholowski and Dunn the first pairing, because they've just been better than Giordano and Larson. So we'll see. Since San Jose told me they didn't want Gourde because he sucked, Gourde has been playing great. Wenberg has been great. And yeah, the bottom 6 has been but we can shore up our depth a little bit. I've been sort of rotating out Appleton, Bastian, Geeky, Leonard. Cole Lind has been all right. He had a great start to the season. He's cooled off a bit since then. But yeah, McCann has been great. Eberle's been good. Donskoy, Schwartz, Donato, Wenberg, and Gourde have all been quite good. So yeah, again, in the offseason, we're likely to look at depth defensemen. ever since I said that our centers kind of suck, they've been doing pretty well. So, I mean, we may or may not look for an upgrade at center in the offseason. Probably we should, but they're holding up for now. And then some depth forwards and potentially a backup goaltender. And I think I'm going to roll with this lineup into the playoffs, see how far we can get, and then try to make some upgrades in the offseason.